Hey guys, Poro here with another recap, this time for day 10 of MSI. We have a potential banger today with BLG versus Fly, the strongest Western team versus what is likely the weakest Eastern team at the tournament excluding LCP. I predicted BLG 3-2 this series, as I think BLG have superior early games and scrappy fighting, but I think Fly can win because they definitely have superior mid and late game macro. Game 1 was one of the best jungle masterclasses I've seen. In fact, I'm pretty confident this is the best individual game of the tournament so far. From start to finish, Inspired was unbelievably locked in. 3 great lane plays by 7 minutes, smurfed the first dragon fight to secure the lead, inted 0 times, every single ult was well timed and got large value, and he was applying so much pressure with his health bar, utilizing the karma to the fullest. There were other factors that determined this game. Even after the early lead Fly had, Quad and Masu overstepped one time at Herald, losing track of On's positioning and dying. In fact, Quad overstepped quite a lot this game, not really respecting the Xin Zhao or Nico. I gave Bwipo his extra point here as he had a great teleport bait before Otacon bot side, where he went to base, bought Asterix, and had BLG convinced they could one-shot him off the TP, which they couldn't, and the ensuing fight went FlyQuest's way. I docked Bin for dying to an extremely telegraphed 6-camp full clear topside gank, which set him behind all game and made him not tanky, and it started the snowball for Inspired and Bwipo. I could dock Masu to a 2 for overstepping a few times like Quad, but he also played enough teamfights well enough for me to want to bring him back to 3. On did have one great teamfight on Herald, but he died a lot trying to look for vision, and he got caught on the Baron push at 35 minutes, which allowed Fly to end the game a lot faster than they would have been able to otherwise. I thought BLG would be able to win through their early game aggression and early fights, but Fly was able to take the lead early and outplay that first Drake situation, and once Fly has the lead, they are not the type of team to throw. I genuinely think Fly is so much better than BLG at playing the map mid-game, so if the early games all go this way, we might see the upset come through. Game 2 saw Fly trying an early game comp with the Kalista pick, but Fly is not an early game team and it showed here. Elk and On had a nice 2v2 outplay where they fake-based and caught Masu and Busio off guard. The play went 1 for 1, but it was Masu who died and the wave was in a bad enough spot that Annie had to rotate bot to bail out the Kalista who can't fall behind. As a result, Knight ended up with a massive lead off the swap and was able to deal massive damage every teamfight, while the Annie and Kalista weren't strong enough to respond back. There were more mistakes that happened, such as Quad and Inspired taking a super greedy path to Herald and getting killed or chunked heavily, or Fly setting up a play bot on Elk, but Annie messing up the stun timing and whiffing the ult which allowed Elk to survive, but the big play that broke the game open was the early bot play. I gave Beichu on a 2 overall for being pretty useless on the Pantheon. He got no valuable ults, died for Scuttle at 10 minutes, was solo killed by Inspired and bot River, and overengaged once BLG had a large lead. Elk and On both got up to a 4 with that bot play, but Elk went back down to a 3 after overstepping on the Soul Dragon fight. He should have died, but Quad botched it. On keeps the 4 because he had many great engages, such as the snap engage on mid jungle at Herald. Knight stays a 3 because I didn't think he did anything impressive. He had a winning matchup in the lane to begin with, got a huge lead off of the bot play, and played teamfights out well but not exceptionally well. I attribute his amazing scoreline to what happened around the map, and the fact that he played teamfights the way he was supposed to without griefing. He was also allowed to build a super safe tanky build once he was secured the lead, which allowed him to have way more breathing room. Good performance from Knight, but nothing special. Game 3 was not pretty from either side. BLG leapt out to a big advantage early from a series of mistakes. Masu walked right into a Nautilus hook dry at 3 minutes and died. Bwipo got solo killed at 12 minutes. BLG made a good dive top around the same time, but then Inspired went for Krugs and died there too. BLG did have a nice outplay in a 5v3 situation top to go 1 for 1, so credit for that, but overall it was Fly making big individual misplays in isolated situations which got BLG the lead. At Dragon 4, Fly go for a fight because it's 5v4, but Elk is too strong at this point and can carry the fight. Now BLG has a 10k gold lead and all the control in the world, and On starts hitting happy hooks. The first 3 ints don't matter at all, but the 4th int lost BLG the 6th Drake, and the 5th int gets FlyQuest the Baron, and it feels like Fly is back in the driver's seat. As a team though, Fly make the call to try to end on a tight window, and they fail as BLG goes Nexus to Nexus and dodges the comeback. I gave Masu and Bwipo 2s for their early solo ints, but I kept Inspired at a 3 because he found a lot of good snap engages once behind, and had a great flash ult on Beichuan to secure that Baron near the end of the game. On had good pressure all game, and his first 3 ints didn't really matter too much, but the 4th and 5th int were so bad that they could have lost BLG the game when 10k gold up, so I dropped him all the way down to a 1. Game 4 started with a lot of back and forth. Bwipo had the set counterpick for Yorick and got a huge lead level 1, but then evened out the advantage by teleporting bot and getting nothing on an invade play. Then things started looking dicey as Bin outplayed Whippo 1v2 and got a kill. Everything changed at the third Drake fight though, where Bin had a horrible teleport in the entire enemy backline and got one shot, and Beichuan overstepped trying to save him and also died, putting Fly on sole point and generating a large lead. From here, it was the inspired Busio show as both of them played absolutely perfect games afterwards to completely cut off any chance BLG had of making a comeback. Inspired has been insane this series. He's definitely the best performing player on either team so far through these first 4 games. Once again, it seems like if Fly can keep the game even through early game, they just have a much better mid game and can win easily. Either team could take game 5 here, but it feels like BLG can only win if FlyQuest make big mistakes. I have no words. I hate being an NA resident. Masu completely threw his entire lane level 1 with whatever the fuck that was, then Quad gets solo killed under tower level 3, then Inspired forgets double globals exists and dies on an invade, then Knight is running around everywhere killing everyone as Quad is useless and has terrible ultimates and Inspired's going for tilt plays and taking every Q. Honestly, I don't even want to punish Busio too hard. He just started going for desperate engages once the map was doomed, so it looked really bad, but what can you do? Whippo had to watch the entire map fall apart, and by the time he got to join the game at all, it was over. Whatever, I don't even care. It's always like this. We always get quote-unquote so close only to bomb it in game 5. People will say shit like, oh well, NA almost did it. They could have taken game 3 and it could have been a 3-1. Well, guess what? It wasn't a 3-1. It's never a 3-1. NA can never do it because we're not fucking good enough to do it. Whatever, man. BLG played a bad series, but FlyQuest played worse. It is what it is. But hey, at least my prediction was perfect. Am I right, guys? I think BLG will get their face kicked in against AL. I'm predicting AL 3-0. They've had their number all year and also look way better at this tournament so far. I have nothing else for you. I'm just sad and tired. Bye.